Over the months of lockdown and all the rest of it, been speaking to numerous singers, entertainers, musicians, performers, and many others indeed from outside of the field of entertainment. But in entertainment, nobody sort of ain't going anywhere or playing any place, and I'm delighted to be able to catch up and see what they're about and what they're doing. You've got a gentleman who has a long career in music. He's been playing music for many moons and has a lot of success and incredibly popular act doing social dancing in Ireland. From Maghera in County Derry, I'm delighted to say hello to Pat McKenna of Glenshane Country. Pat, how are you?
Hello, Jerry. How are you doing? Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it very much.
A real pleasure, Pat. A real pleasure. Listen, you've been involved in music for a long time.
Oh, Jerry, you need a good memory. I think about 45 years, and I'm gigging around the place with different wee bands and stuff. And the pub scene. And then the pub scene that dried up, they couldn't have music in them anymore. So I had to diversify. I started the social dance scene with a two-piece band. And I've been on the social dance scene now for 12 years. And it's been very good. It's hugely popular, particularly down the west of Ireland, the social dance scene. We do a lot of work down there, and around Mayo, Galway, Sligo, North Kerry, Roscommon, Westmeath, places like that, Derry, Tyrone, Antrim, and Donegal, of course.
That's what I was just going. That's what I was going to say, Pat. You certainly do. You travel all over the place, and you're known basically all over Ireland.
It's amazing, Jerry. I was fairly obscure up to about 12 years ago. Whenever my good friend Michael Cummins, a radio presenter from County Mayo, he wrote a song for me, and I recorded it and sent it around the radio stations. Not expecting all that much, but I took off.
Yes.
And it was hugely popular, and then everybody inquired who was this guy, Pat McKenna. And the phone started ringing, and I've been flat out ever since because of one song. It's amazing.
It is the famous Wind on the Hill, of course.
Aye, that was Wind on the Hill. Mm-hmm. And I've been recording. I've recorded several songs before that song, and the response was mediocre. Nothing really happened. But yeah, it's just like a lottery. You can record that one song, and it can do the business.
Indeed, and boy, it caught the imagination of people, and I remember when it came, when it came out, it was absolutely huge, and it's still requested. That particular song is still requested.
That song, no matter where I go, I have to sing it maybe twice every night. And the stories about that song are amazing. They're incredible. People tell me stories about that song. They want the song played at their funeral, and it was played at my mother's funeral. And they tell you all these stories, And I think the hardest thing I ever had to do was a friend of mine. She was dying, and her family sent for me. They wanted me to go and sing Wind on the Hill at her bedside.
Wow.
And I had to go and do that. It was the most difficult thing, hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. But it shows you the impact of that song. It's incredible.
It is. I'm not surprised something like that. You're saying difficult. I mean, heading on the almost impossible. Well done on doing it, because it is a song with a lot of meaning.
Aye, different people take different meanings out of it. And it does something for people, for the air of the song or the lyrics or what, or a combination. I'm not sure, but as dance teachers in Ireland have been telling me, it's the most popular slow waltz in the last 10 years. They've been playing it all at their dance classes and that for the slow waltz.
Yes.
And that's the one they learn to do the slow waltz for.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It really is. And, that one, it's the Wind on the Hill has just been truly incredible and inspirational. But you've also recorded, Michael Cummins has also wrote another song for you there. You released it back a few months ago, did very well also. Whatever Happened to Bobby McGee?
Mike Michael has written 12 songs for me, and I've recorded 12 songs with Michael's. He's the lyric man, and I'm the music man. And he emailed me the words of Bobby McGee, and I don't know, Michael, he loves the old country. The old country, he wouldn't be a fan of the new stuff at all, you know.
Yes.
The old traditional country. And he told me he was thinking about Chris Christopherson and Bobby McGee, and he thought it was a great story, that song. So he wondered what happened. So he sent me the lyrics of that song, and I messed about and come up for air and recorded it. It was very popular, you know. A lot of people are using it for the slush dance.
Yes.
That's quite good, you know. It's a more light-hearted song than most.
Indeed so. And must say, it's another good song. Your latest one, which is just kind of hot off the presses over this past few days, where the roses never fade.
Jay, I've been doing that song for a while now around the dances, and I've always got a good reception for the foxtrot, you know. People have been talking to me about the song, and I thought, God, this wee song's popular, I might record it. And I recorded the song before the lockdown, of course. So I decided just to release it now. I think it was last Friday I sent it out.
Yes.
And it's hugely popular at the minute. People are requesting this song. It's the old style, bluegrassy type of song, gospel song. I think it was a hit years ago for a family called the White Family down Tennessee or somewhere.
Right, yes.
I love the song anyway, and you sort of have to love the song before you can record it.
Indeed.
So that's what I've done anyway. It's a nice, wee, traditional bluegrass song.
It is nice one indeed. It must be. You're saying you said there, Pat, that you're something like 45 years in music. It's a lifetime, and the one thing that
I started at 5, you see, Jay.
Yes, you're only a slip of a lad still.
Aye, Lord, I'm good at telling lies.
But tell me, it must be, to say the least, incredibly strange for you not to be out each weekend.
The first few weekends, I was totally lost. I was totally at sea, and I was walking wee circles around the living room of the house. Didn't know what was happening to me, you know. Of course, I was in bed every night at 10, 11 o'clock, and that was never me. For my sleeping pattern was all over the place with midnights, you know.
Yes.
And now, you know what, Jerry, it's part of me enjoying it.
Yes.
Because I don't have to drive the roads at 2:30 in the morning now anymore, or 2 or 3 hour drives home again. And whenever you look back, I wonder how I done it, you know. But if it starts up again, I'll probably get involved again, you know.
Yes.
It's amazing. You can adjust to anything.
Indeed. One of the things, I bet one of the things that you that you miss about it all, and this is what so many singers say to me, is the people, meeting the people.
Exactly. That's what I miss most of all, is the interaction with people. Through the music, you meet some lovely people. I mean, the music seems to take the best out of people. You always see the good side to people through the music. And that's some wonderful people. And we're friends. We're friends ever since we met years ago, you know. And they might drift off for a few months, and then they come back into the dance again, and we keep talking again, and that's the way it goes on. That keeps snowballing all the time. And over the years, I've met some amazing, lovely people. And that's what I do miss.
Indeed, I bet it is. Yeah. Tell me, Pat, have you done anything since? I mean, have you done any Facebook Lives or anything like that?
I didn't do it live. I done a couple of pre-recorded stuff.
Right.
A couple of sessions recorded in the house and then put it up on Facebook.
Yes.
I admire the people who can do the live thing, you know, because there's no rehearsal.
Indeed.
If you get it wrong or you make a mess up, I've seen fellas do that, messed up, but they don't care, you know. But maybe I'm too conscious of that. But people are asking me to do a live one, but I might get around to it yet.
Yes, well, the thing about doing, as well as, something, but the problem with doing it live on Facebook, and I've seen this on numerous occasions with numerous people, is if the signal, sort of drops, because in many cases they're dealing with Wi-Fi, if the signal sort of drops, and there can be blips and hold-ups and freezes and stuff like that,
And sometimes do you any favours.
Indeed not. When it's nothing, it's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with the entertainer. It's just that there's a blip with the connection, going out, and that's it.
It's my opinion for the bravery and courage that do it. They don't really have to do it, but they're doing it. And fair play to them, fair dues to them.
Indeed so.
Up on yourself maybe some other time.
Right. Are you still? You're still tinkering around with the music and the instruments and all the rest of it. Yes.
Oh, you know what? I have the gear set up in the room. The PA system set up in the room, and I have an imaginary concert every day.
Right.
I sing for about an hour to myself every day, and there's no feedback, and there was nobody applauding or nothing. So now it's only to keep the throat warmed up and keep the memory of the lyrics of the songs kind of fresh in my head, because if you don't use them, you lose them.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Indeed.
So that's why I'm doing that, just because you never know when you'll be doing a gig again, and then you go back ring rusty onto the stage.
Yes.
So it's only to keep the vocal cords loosened up.
Yeah, I actually spoke to a couple of singers who said that they actually had written out their program, something which was just second nature. They did it automatically, but they actually wrote it out in order to sort of keep it in the forefront of the mind.
Well, you know what? Whenever I was gigging, I had no program.
Right.
I just carried everything in my head. And I would shout over to the keyboard player, give us a C or give us a D, a quick step or whatever. And that's the way we worked. with no program, no set program at all.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember now what songs we did do. 2.5 hours, you go through a fair lot of songs.
You certainly do.
I saw a couple of songs there today, and I got all mixed up in the lyrics, so I must revise them again before I do go back out again.
Indeed.
Caught it.
Yes, it seems like a little while at this stage before social dancing will be taking off, but fingers crossed, as soon as possible.
Well, I heard the bit there on the radio today, on RTE radio, and they reckon it could have be 21, forget about 20,
Yes.
Because the social dancing, they're an older crowd, and everybody, well, the medical people say the older people are more vulnerable to this germ, this virus, and they'll be scared, to close contact with people, as I would be too,
Indeed.
Until we get a vaccine, and then if we get a vaccine, everybody will be happy.
Indeed, that's the thing. However, it's interesting you actually say that older people are more susceptible. Recently, we're learning something new all the time on it, but recently it's been found that there's a huge amount of younger people getting it.
That's happening now. It's happening in Dublin. I think there's a lot of people 35 and under that age now catching it, and this is the worrying trend. So I don't know what happens now. I hope to God there isn't a second wave. We keep talking about a second wave, the medical people, and I hope that doesn't materialise.
Indeed, all we can say is fingers crossed on it. Pat, listen, it's been lovely to catch up with you. I'm delighted that you're doing that performance every day, and that you've been putting up some stuff on Facebook and that, and listen, keep it up, and who knows, with all of the things you're doing at the moment, you could just get another song like The Wind on the Hill.
Well, sure, everybody's buying tickets for that to win that lottery again, But I hope so. I love recording. I love it. It's an expensive hobby, but I love doing it, and I love coming up with fresh songs. And I don't like recording songs that are played out. Everybody you hear a song, sometimes you left an album and the same songs, same people over and over again. I like doing the sort of stuff that's not overused, if that's possible, you know. But listen, Jerry, thanks a million for having me on your show. I appreciate it very much.
Listen, stay safe and stay well, Pat. Lovely to talk to you.
It's lovely to talk to you, Jerry, and say a big hello to all your listeners there. And thanks a million for all your help, Jerry, down through the years. So thanks a million.